We on here? Yes. Okay. Good evening. How is everybody this evening? I hope everybody's doing well. Busy couple of days this week. Been very, very busy, which is good. Which is good. Before we get rocking and rolling with everything, and we're going to be talking about are we past the point of no return? Um, just want to let you guys know if we have any interruptions with the stream that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. So just hang in there with me with that. And you may not get a notification because it's one of the things YouTube does like to do. It's part of the game. But yeah, so excuse me. So again, if there's any interruptions, I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. Secondly, I would like to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel, and you please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by those simple rules, then those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we're just not going to have it. We're just not going to tolerate it. So just be good to each other and, of course, to your host. Anyway, yeah, it's been happy homesteader. Yes, I did get the email. I have not replied to you yet. I will soon. I promise. I honestly, okay. So my niece is eventually going to be out here. When the school year is done and her boys have finished this year of school, she plans on moving out here. She's going to take over my secretarial duties type of stuff because I am absolutely the worst getting back to people, taking care of those type of things. I'm terrible. I just get busy with other things. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know the last 3 days I've been just killing it. I've been really, really busy. And it's yeah, it's been very, very, very busy. So we're getting there though. I am just like so happy I'm on that last bed. You have no idea. So my mom says to me today, this bed you did really fast. Well, fast as I guess. And she said, it's the best one yet. You got it down now. I said, yeah. Now it's the last one. So thank goodness for that. But no, it's been it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. Well worth it. We're gonna have those raised beds are gonna be there for a very, very long time. They're not going anywhere. With the rebar and the quickcrete and everything else, they're not going anywhere. I know somebody had asked me a question, and I just want to address it really quickly. They said, because like with the rain we're having in the next couple of days, they said, won't the block fill up with water? They won't because it'll just drain out into the earth. There's nothing on the bottom stopping it. How many people are you planning to feed? Well, Sunset, that's a very good question. Again, and I've addressed this a couple of times, but I think it's important to address it again. In a post event, I do have a lot of people that are going to be coming here. Okay. And also, I'm a big believer in we're going to try to help as many people as we can. Now, we can't help everybody. That's a fact. But we're going to do the very best that we can. And so that is, we'll be able to feed a lot of people, hopefully. So, we're just going to do the best we can. I'll tell you, I was out today. It was, and I was looking at my peach trees over here and actually at my cherry tree over here. And today was a beautiful day, guys. I mean, it was like 78 degrees. Earlier in the day, the sun was out. What about if I move? Well, again, let me address that. I'll address that in just a second, and I'll explain what I plan on doing initially with that. Okay. So next month, I am going to be going down south. All right, and I'm going to be looking for another piece of property. So what I'm looking for is a piece of property that when winter is here in New York, I cannot be here. I can be on another alternative piece of property working on that property. I'm not making any kind of major move until I have some kind of infrastructure down at a secondary bug out location. So, that's that's why I'm going to do that. Okay. So just I hope that clears that up. If we do eventually sell this homestead, it's not going to be 2 3 years out at least, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now that may change. I may find an awesome piece of property, go down this winter, do a lot of stuff with it, and get it really squared away, and then come back in the spring and say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's make the move. I don't know. I mean, you know what? I'm making the first step towards having that second piece of property, and we're just going to basically go from there. That's how we're going to end up doing that whole thing. So, but yeah, so that's the game plan. But no, it's like I don't know how many people are going to end up being here. I still have my group. I still have the plans for people. The plans have not changed. Even if I'm not home and something happens, let's say let's say I buy a piece of property in West Virginia and SHTF happens, people are still going to come here to this homestead. That's where everything is right now. I'm a bit red. Actually, it's funny. Um, None of it's a burn. I just once I'm like outside this time of year and doing stuff, I just get darker and darker. So none of it hurts. None of it's a burn. Yeah, it's red, but it'll go right into tan. I'll be really really tan this year if I keep doing what I've been doing. But yeah, it's and I was looking at that going, man, I'm getting some serious sun already. So, but no, it's anyway, it just we're going to see what happens. So we're just going to kind of go to flow. But if I'm in the other bug out location, I would try to make my way back here. That would be my game plan no matter what. So, in a worst case scenario. And then, like I said, if we do decide down the road to sell this location and move to someplace else, that's exactly what we'll do. I don't know yet. Looking swole. Whoa. Man-tastic. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I feel freaking awesome. I'm sore. I'm not gonna lie. The last 3 days, I'm tired. Not gonna lie about that either. I've been sleeping really, really well, really well. But I feel really good. A lot of physical work, but it feels fantastic. So, yep, Mantastic. That's a weird name I came up with a while ago. So anyway, but so we're gonna get into the topic here actually in a minute. I promise. Um, but yeah, as somebody was talking about the propaganda that is going around with let's get back to normal. Let's get back to normal. Just go ahead and get your. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a story. I talked to a neighbor that lives down on a side road, and I was speaking with her, and I'm going to tell you what. In this type of situation, what happened with her, I think, is 100% wrong. What happened to her? So she, they're. I'm not going to say. I hate to use the word tree hugger, but they live in the center of the woods, and they started out in a yurt, and they built an A-frame, which is the yurt's still there, and the A-frame's all part of it, but they got a pretty cool thing going there. Okay, what's the context of the title of the video? If we're out of time, how much time do we have left? Type of thing. But we're going to get into that, I promise you. So anyway, she was driving by today with her kids, and she stopped, and we were talking. And so I just, because I'm curious, I said, so I got to ask you the question. I said, you getting the shot? And she goes, I did. And she goes, and I'll tell you why. She said, I had not seen my father in 2 years. And my father basically said her father had told her that if she didn't get the shot, he wasn't going to see her. Now, to me, that's wrong. That's being coerced and, using bullying tactics to get your kid to comply. And I just think that that's wrong. And she even said, she goes, and you know how I feel about vaccines. And I said, yeah, I do. That's why I said I was very surprised that she did that, but she did. And that's obviously her call, and she's got to do what's, best for her. But I just think that that's ridiculous there. And she, her father is like, all gung ho and, oh, it's so important. You have to do it. And so she did just because she wanted to see her dad. And my ex told my son the exact same thing. Well, you know what you say then? Well, then it's been nice knowing you and good luck. That's, I think it's ridiculous. Ridiculous that you would try to use that kind of peer pressure, or parent pressure, if you will, to force your child to do something like that. I think that's completely wrong. But that's just my take on it. Like I said, you guys know where where I stand. So I wouldn't have anybody dictate to me or try to coerce me or anything like that. So, what's my take on India's growing problem over there? You think we'll go into extra innings? I know that like here they say, see, and you got to remember too, this is all part of the game. Okay, we'll talk about this, and this is actually kind of flows into what we're talking about too. Things are getting, yeah, emotional blackmail. Exactly. Callie from Canada just said it. It's exactly what that is, and that's a great terminology. And thank you for sharing that. But you're 100% right. It's absolutely emotional blackmail. So you're seeing the numbers starting to come down, right? You're seeing things starting to open up, and here in the United States. And of course, the reason they're saying it is, and I want you to think about this. You have 1/3 of the country, 1/3 is completely uh, had both of the, okay, and it said 46% of the people have had at least one, okay. Well, they've even said even if you are fully vaccinated, you can still get it. Number one, they just went over their whole guidelines of what it's now okay or not okay to do, which is, and I did a video on that, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous that they would stipulate, telling us what we can do in a free country. It's kind of weird, kind of concept. It's been what I've been doing right along all the way myself anyway, because I do what I want, and so and if somebody is not gonna take my money because they don't want, they want to try to force you to do something, well then okay, then you don't get my business. That's as simple as that goes. But so anyway, we're almost at 800 people in the chat, guys. We're at 240 on a thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you really quickly to do that, and I appreciate you doing that to show support for the channel. Secondly, I also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction we have, positive or negative or whatever the case may be, it really does help the channel. So I thank you for the thumbs up for that reason as well. And of course, the third reason is I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So, and also if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that as well. So let's get into the topic here, because we've been you guys have had great questions and I appreciate the questions, but we should probably try to get into what I actually wanted to talk about. Are we running out of time? How much time do we have with everything going on? There is, if you watch the news, there's two agendas right now that are really being pushed out there by the media. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys just saw it today, but that father and son and the other guy, the neighbor that was filming everything, Amon Brandy, or I'm not sure, whatever, the gentleman that was killed down in Georgia. Now, they were charged with a hate crime. Now, in that circumstance, I agree 100% that they should have been charged with a hate crime. Now, that's one example of that they targeted this guy. He was jogging in the neighborhood, and so they went after him thinking that he was up to no good or whatever because he was black. Okay, so that whole situation, that is more of, that was, I believe that they absolutely should have been charged with that. But if you look at the agenda, and it's kind of weird too when it falls in now. Okay, right now at this time, they finally charged him with those three guys with a hate crime after all this time has gone by. But it folds in right with everything else that's going on of stirring that pot, keeping people agitated, keeping people upset, keeping people on edge. And it's like, we're in a freaking powder keg is what we are. The fuse is already lit. Okay, as far as from my perspective, the fuse is already lit, and we're just waiting for that straw that breaks the camel's back. I'm sure you guys have heard that. That you keep putting enough straw on that camel's back, eventually their back is going to break. So I think that we're in a situation right now where, hold on a second, guys. I don't think I killed my volume. I did not. Okay, we're in a situation now where we just keep putting that straw on their back. Okay, and it's a matter of time. I truly believe that we're a ticking time bomb. This country is a ticking time bomb, and something is going to set it off, which is what exactly they want to have happen. Because what happens is, and I want you to really think about this, okay? If we have, right, and somebody, actually, JJ just said it right there, they're setting the stage for a gun grab. Exactly. If you can get people to get all riled up, and all of a sudden, you're getting sides, you're getting, people are fighting each other, you enact martial law. Once martial law is enacted, your Constitution, our Constitution here in the United States, is out the window, completely out the window. And then they can do whatever they want. And that be the powers that be, whoever is really, truly in charge. Because as we know, Biden is not in charge. Okay. But whoever is the people that are really in charge, they have an agenda. And I want you to think about this. We have so many armed people in this country that no other country will ever do a ground invasion, in my opinion, as long as we're armed, because we'll be able to fight back. And they know that they absolutely know that. So they will not even take that chance, because they know if they attacked us, that everybody that's former military, anybody that's a hunter, anybody that loves their country, that has something, we're going to fight. That's what we do in this country. Okay. We may fight each other all the time, but you come and try to take our country or try to invade our country, and you got to understand, we know the layout. We know the layout. So we would know where to, ambush people. It would be guerrilla warfare. This wouldn't be a conventional, like, we would know who they were because they would all be in uniform and doing their thing. Now, people will say, well, they have all these high-tech weapons and blah, blah, blah. Well, sure they do. But, if you do a guerrilla warfare type of stuff, look at the Taliban. The Taliban's been doing that to us for the last 20 years in Afghanistan. And they're not super organized. They're doing what they have to do. And they have eventually wore us down enough where we're leaving, finally, right? So hold on a second. Buddy wants to go out. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. No, you stay out, because then you're going to want to go back out too. All right, guys, I'm sorry. Oh, hold on a second. Full of hope. Sorry, Ed, but I had to interrupt you. You are looking fit. The workouts are paying off. Wahoo. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate. Like I said, I feel a lot better. My weight is definitely down. My weight continues to go down, and it overall, I just feel a lot better. So that's all part of it there. But again, nobody's going to attack this country. Nobody's going to invade this country as long as we are armed. So the agenda, and this is just my opinion, guys, okay? Just my opinion. The agenda is to get us to be unarmed. If they can get us unarmed, then we are not able to defend ourselves. So if we're unarmed, what happens then, right? The government has complete and total control over us. The criminals, who will never obey the gun laws, will still have their weapons and do what they want to do. But now they know if they break into somebody's home, they don't have to worry about being shot, okay? An armed society is a polite society. That's number one. Okay. You look at the areas that have, or the areas in the country that have open carry, that have the least restrictive gun laws, the crimes in those areas are the lowest. Why? Because a criminal knows, if I break into the wrong house or if I try to rob the wrong person, they're going to get shot, and they know it. So they don't do it. Where I live, we don't have break-ins out here. We generally don't. Okay, you get your your meth heads and all that type of stuff that will go out and hit campsites or whatever the case, if they're abandoned, not abandoned, but like seasonal places or whatever, they'll hit those, but they're not going to where people live because everybody out here is armed. Hey, SDM86, Mark Twain said, if you don't read the papers, you're uninformed. If you do, you're misinformed. True today to practice media distancing. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Thank you. It's a great quote. And thank you very much for the donation. Homestead Homeboy NC, preach it, brother. Amen. Thank you, man. I appreciate that too. And thank you also for the donation. We need to be smart. Okay. When you look at that, when you look at places, I don't know if you guys just saw this too. And this is like amazing to me. So, Chicago, Illinois has just sued a gun store that 850 guns used in crimes in Chicago were purchased from this gun store. How is that the gun store owner's fault? Realistically, how is that his fault? So that's a ridiculous lawsuit in my opinion. But they're not in control of their own city. They never have been in control of that city. I mean, you go all the way back to the days of Al Capone, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. If you know your history, you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I mean. But this has been going on in Chicago forever. And Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. All right. New York City would be another place. And the crime is out of control. People are insane. They're just, for whatever reason, they really enjoy killing each other in those cities. But again, the average populace, the average person in those cities is unarmed. Excuse me, I apologize. But that's why you can't get anything done in those type of cities, because it's like people are not able to defend themselves. New York City, it's a whole different animal down there. It's a whole different animal. I've been down there a few times. Obviously, I've gone down to see the Yankee games, old Yankee Stadium and stuff like that. When Josh, my stepson, was little, him and I went. I took my nephew one time, who is now also grown. They all grow up for whatever reason. But, we went down there and did that, and it was fun. But it was like, man, it's a whole different kettle of fish down there. I couldn't live like that with everybody right on top of you. No way. Isn't Chicago a model for broomstick control? Yeah, of why you need to have them. That's what they're a model for. But during World War II, the government hired the mafia to guard the ports of America. Reason why the mafia became so big. Oh, you're absolutely right. They were involved also, if you guys remember, when they invaded Sicily. The mafia was big time behind that, helping the Allies to invade Sicily. Big time. There was the one guy that had been locked up here, and they let him out because he coordinated everything. I mean, well, and the thing is too, I'm going to tell you what, the mafia don't play. And if you think the mafia is gone and they're no longer in existence, you're sadly mistaken. Very, very sadly mistaken. They are absolutely still around. They're very strong and stuff like that. Let's see. Jeff Emery for the garden and the greenhouse. Thank you, Jeff, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, we've been getting planting done too. Becky planted the asparagus today, and she did strawberries today. So once the last bed is done, onions are going to go into that bed. So we kind of have a game plan of where we're going to put everything. But, But yeah, the point of no return. Let's get back to that. We're definitely past the point of no return. All these millions of patriots say a whole lot, but I don't see many. Oh, hold on a second. But I don't see many who would do anything. Most Americans are too far gone, brainwashed in complying. Well, yeah, you know what? Hold on a second. I do want to address that. Homestead Homeboy. I say it all the time. Prep, pray, and pray. Yeah. Well, you got. Thank you very much for the donation, and yeah, you just got to keep steady, keep doing what you need to do. So the point of no return, right? We are. You have. Well, we have to address it in a certain way in this country. Okay. As long as we have our creature comforts in this country, nobody's going to do a thing. I absolutely believe 100%. So what do I mean? We have our food, we have our TV, our entertainment, sports entertainment, right? Watching whatever we like to do, watching our shows that we like to watch. As long as we have our air conditioning in the summertime, and as long as we have our heat in the wintertime, we're going to just sit back and we're just going to let them do whatever they want to do. This whole pandemic thing is 100% proof of that. When I go out and I walk into a store and I see maybe one other person in the whole store that doesn't have a mask on, and I'm using Walmart as an example for that, okay? Like I'll walk into Walmart, okay? I'll tell you how it breaks down every freaking time. So I walk into Walmart and they'll say, "Do you have a mask?" And I go, "No." And they'll go, "Would you like one?" And I go, "No, thank you." And they'll go, "Okay, have a nice day." And I go. So, but when I walk in there and everybody, and you got to understand, it's not like they're wearing their masks properly, number one, okay? Most people are never wearing their mask properly. If you have facial hair, if you have a beard, you're never going to wear that mask properly. So when you see these guys with the big bushy beard and stuff like that, that the mask is useless. Useless. When you're wearing the mask and you have it to here, it's useless. And when you have the mask on, you have it to here, it's useless. So, it just, and even if you have it fully on your face, it's really not doing what it needs to do. It really isn't. And it's definitely not stopping any kind of virus, because a virus is so minuscule, and it's what it is they're getting you to comply, and that's what it comes down to. Normalization, that this is now the new normal. You got to be a good little sheep and do as you're told, and that's what's happening with that. And that's my take on it. um you know but as a nurse, um again, if I have the most deadly infectious disease that I'm dealing with, am I going to be in a full suit like they were with Ebola, right? Full thing with the gloves and everything and the mask and the breathing apparatus and the whole thing like that? Or am I going to wear a little bitty paper mask? So, I mean, you figure that one out on your own. Oh, I wanted to address something else too, really quickly, while we're on the subject of things. So, actually, real quick too, we're at 1,078 in the chat. We're at 410 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Also, again, the more interaction we have, positive or negative, but obviously we prefer positive, it really helps with the algorithm. So the thumbs up, comments, and all that, it really makes a big difference. That yeah, the movie Outbreak, yeah, right. That's a real pandemic scenario, absolutely. But again, it really helps with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have, the better. So I thank you for that reason as well. The third reason, of course, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. It's just, part of the game. So I like to see what kind of numbers that we can put up by the end of the stream. So thank you for that as well. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel already, I would ask you to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. So I wanted to address this because I did answer the comment on a video. And the person had said, they were very condescending. Okay, very, very condescending, and they were talking about like when Bizarriza had just recently his appendix ruptured, and he had that surgery, right? We were talking about that, and I said, well, your appendix is useless; it's not good for anything anyway. You don't need it. Okay. Well, this person was like, well, you can live without your fingers, you can live without this, you can live without that, but everything has a function and it's needed. I'm going to tell you what. I had my appendix removed when I was 9 years old. I'm now 55 years old. I have not missed my appendix. It has made no difference in my life whatsoever. Really, the appendix is not doing a whole lot for your system. So my point was, it's something that you can live without. You don't need to have your appendix. Okay. So this person says, well, and then the next time, instead of just looking at the first page of Google and making your assessment, well, first of all, I've been in the nursing field for 30 plus years, so I might know what I'm talking about a little bit, maybe just a little. Hey, Kyle, those who have been vaxxed are shedding, beware. You know what? I heard that as well, and I don't know the validity of that, the 100%. I can't come on. I'm never going to come on here, guys, and spread rumors or speculation. Okay. Now, I have heard people saying that. Thank you very much for the statement, though. I do appreciate that, and thank you for the donation. I've heard people saying that the people that have been vaccinated are shedding, and other people are having issues because of that. You know what? Is it true or is it not true? I can't say either way. I really can't, because I really don't know. You know, so that's what I really I can't say if that's legit. But I will say this: when she told me today, when I talked to my neighbor and she said that she had it, I kind of took a couple of steps back. I'm not going to lie. I'll be 100% honest with you. I definitely did that because I had heard that as well. But again, I don't know how valid that is, to be honest with you. So yeah, but hey, you know what? Why take a chance? That's kind of the way I feel with that. Ed, did you say you do intermittent fasting? Yes, Pat D, I do intermittent fasting. What I do, and believe it or not, you would think that it would be tougher. And I'm going to tell you what, I love to eat. Absolutely, I love to eat. But what I've been doing is they I give myself a certain window every day that I can eat. Sometimes it's a 2 hour window, sometimes it's a three. It depends on really how much work I've been doing. But and then in that window, I basically eat whatever I want in that window. And so, other than that, I just don't eat. And you would think, oh my God, how do you go 16, 18 hours without eating? You don't think about it. It really, once you build yourself up to it, it's not a big deal. Drinking a lot of water, and stuff like that. And that's really, and I'm going to tell you what, just doing that before I really started getting into doing the physical activity aspect of things, I definitely have been dropping weight that way. I know that with doing the physical aspect of stuff, and here's the thing is I think a lot of people do not realize when you're being more physical, you're building muscle. Muscle always weighs more than fat. Okay, so if you're working out and doing a lot of things, your weight numbers might not change, but your body's changing because you're gaining muscle mass and losing fat. So that's what happens a lot of times with that. So don't get discouraged if you don't see the numbers doing what you want them to do. But I definitely I like the intermittent fasting, and I like to say I usually fast while I sleep. Well, that's a good time to fast as well. But but yeah, I just it's been working for me, so I'm going to stick with it. And and I really, it's not my problem, guys, is I'm a grazer, so I'm not always hungry. A lot of times I ate out of boredom, so I would just snack, and I'll have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then an hour later, I would have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that's just kind of what I did. And the next thing you know, you have a lot more weight on than you wanted. And then when you go and overindulge with something, that's not a good thing either. So, it's just, so that's just kind of the thing with that. So, yeah, it's just, for me so far, it's working. Dawn Marie said this shedding is scary. Well, if it's legitimately that is happening, yeah, that's not a good thing at all. But again, yeah, why was it made so fast? Number one, yeah, it just, I have a lot of concerns. And so, I will always err on the side of caution. That's just my choice. I don't know if you guys saw that Joe Rogan on his podcast. So, Ed, you're shedding pounds. Yeah, I'm shedding pounds. That's right. I'll tell you, like I said, I feel unbelievably so much better. But I definitely am looking forward to it raining all day tomorrow. I'll be honest with you. I have some other things that I could actually do. I got to catch up on laundry and some other things. But yeah, I just to have a couple of days to chill because rain tomorrow and Friday. And then Saturday is going to be decent again. And I'll be right back out there working on that, getting that bed finished up and all that type of stuff. So, but anyway, I'm always going to err on the side of caution. I look at stuff. I'm very skeptical of big pharma. You guys know that. I've talked about it. I talked about my son, and stuff like that. So, those things are, th- th- so I'm never gonna, I don't trust them. That's just basically what it comes down to for me. I don't have that trust. But, and you look at over and over and over and over again, the number of people that have had issues because of medications or whatever procedures that were approved, and where these companies made a ton of money. And like the biggest one that I can think of where they've made a tremendous amount of money, but destroyed so many lives, is narcotics. They were giving everybody Vicodin like it was candy, giving out Oxy like it was candy, and all those things for pain. And you know, that's just the way it goes. But and look what it's done to our country. I mean, it's just, it's destroyed people. So, but uh, so there was a couple of different points I was going to make here, and I'm just remember where I was at in my own head. Man, there's so many different things. There's so many things, guys, that we could just jump on different subjects as part of it. So I want to get back to the numbers are going down, right? And so they're saying it's because everybody is getting but less than half the people in this country have had at least one dose, and only one third of the people have actually gotten both, right? So, and so my sister tonight, she was like, we were talking, and she doesn't want to get it either, obviously, but she was saying, well, it's actually not that bad. You only had that one issue with the clotting. I go, Beck, I go, do you realize thousands of people have died from adverse reactions from getting this? And she's like, really? I go, yeah. They're not going to put it out on the news. They don't want that out there. They don't want that being public knowledge, because it would scare people away. They would scare people from doing it. They won't do it because of those reasons otherwise. And so you would have less compliance than you already have. When you have the Marine Corps, and we talked about this before, so this is not a number that's any kind of surprise. When you have 40% of the Marine Corps say, no, I don't want it. Okay. And that's, they're not going to get it. Okay. So I am right now, different colleges are coming out. There was one down in New Jersey, a couple, of course, California. Wow, what a surprise. That are saying that they will not let the students come back unless they've done it, right? Well, thank goodness that my daughter's school at this point in time is not forcing the kids to get it, because if they do, there's going to be a lawsuit, because it's like they should absolutely not force these kids who are perfectly healthy to get something that to comply with what they're trying to do. And the problem is, when you have something that is an emergency release, this is not something that has had years of study, that they've done all kinds of tests on, that they know 100% that is 100% safe. They really don't. Okay, they really don't. And so, you are the experiment. Realistically, the people that are getting it, they're the experiment. So, it's just. So I know I was going to talk about this. So Joe Rogan, and he can't shut his podcast on, which I think is fantastic. And he's got like the biggest podcast out there. And he was saying that, they had asked him, and this is what I find amazing. Okay. And I want you to think about this. This is what I find amazing. So they asked him, would you recommend that young people that are healthy, perfectly healthy, to get this? And he said, no, I wouldn't recommend that for them. He goes, they're perfectly healthy. They should be fine. They don't, he goes, in my opinion, they don't need to get it. Oh my God, he was vilified, absolutely vilified. If they could shut him down, they would, but they can't. Okay. But it is amazing to me. Even Fauci came on and had a response to that, because he's a high profile person, and he's out there, and he's saying, if you're young and healthy, why do you need it? Again, let's go with the numbers. A 99.7% survival rate. And if you're young, it's even higher, My age group, it's 99.5% if I get it, all right, that I'll survive without any kind of anything. My own amazing, awesome immune system will protect me. That's what it's about. And again, it comes down to a couple of things realistically. All right. The problem again, and I know I repeat myself a lot, but I'm going to repeat myself again. 80% of all hospitalizations because of the virus have one thing in common. One thing in common. They are either overweight or obese. Okay? Overweight or obese. So when you are already compromised because you have issues because of being so heavy or whatever the case may be, that puts you in a different category. Okay. If you are now, unfortunately, nowadays, half these young kids are overweight or obese. When I, like I said, again, when I went to high school, we had one fat kid in the whole school, one fat kid in the whole school. And that was it. Everybody else was skinny because you're outside playing, you were busy, you were doing things, and now it's all about the sedentary lifestyle, and they sit around and play video games and stuff all the time, and they don't get that activity anymore. So half these kids today are either overweight or obese, and the problem with that is, and I'm going to tell you what, in my opinion, given my opinion here, if your child is overweight or obese, that's child abuse, because you are setting that child up for a lifetime of failure. So what do I mean by that? And I'm going to give a great example. I will once again use myself. I love to use myself because it's a great example. Graduated from high school. I weighed 142 pounds at 19 years old. Went into the military. Where everybody else lost weight during basic training, I put 7 pounds on. So I got done with basic training. I was 149 pounds. Went to permanent party and did all that. When I got out, was drinking quite a bit back in the day, doing all that. And I went up to about 175, 176. And I had the gut. I had the gut going. Okay. My sister was busting my chops. So I started, playing a lot of basketball. I went down to like 155, started working out, got into really great shape. I was like I think it was 172 pounds. And I had a 30.5-inch waistline. And I was like the absolute best shape I've ever been in my life. When I was in my early 20s. But you get married, you have kids, you get a job where you're working the grind, and then you're working more than 40 hours a week. The workout goes to the side, and you just don't do it as much like you used to do it before, and the weight starts to come on. When I started nursing school, I was 174 pounds when I started nursing school. In 1 year, because I was studying all the time, not being as active, I was 194 pounds when I got done with nursing school. Again, you get married, have kids, you get busy, and I have peaked out. My peak weight is 225. Now I graduated from high school at 142 pounds, so I had 142 pounds on this frame, and now I'm over the winter, this last winter, I was up to 225. That's not healthy. And it was affecting me, and I knew it was. So I made some changes, and I'm not patting myself on the back and I'm the greatest thing and all this kind of nonsense. No, not at all. I just knew that I needed to make some changes. We have so many people in this country, they don't think about making changes. I mean, if anybody's watched My 600-Pound Life, how do you let yourself go to that level before you go, man, this is not good. I need to do something about it. Okay. And the success rate, unfortunately, with those type of people is less than 10%. 10%, they don't make it. It's very sad, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, I was way skinny, way skinny. You guys have seen Eddie. Okay. You've seen how skinny Eddie is. It's just as skinny as that back in the day. I'm 6 foot tall. So, but a good weight for me, if I get back down to 180, I'll feel fantastic if I get to 180. So, but anyway, so we have, our society is way overweight. They're not in good shape. They're not taking care of their bodies. And we talked about this in another stream about making sure the one thing that we are deficient, especially in the north, is vitamin D. We're not getting enough vitamin D, especially in the wintertime. Now, this time of year where you're getting outside, obviously you can see I'm getting darker because I'm out, but I'm not laying in the sun. I mean, I'm working out there, and when you're working, you're just busy, and it just happens. But you know, we're not taking care of ourselves the right way, and that's the biggest problem that we have in this country. So, and I'm 170 pounds, looking slim. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And again, a lot of it depends on what your height is and how tall you are and stuff like that. But we need to take better care of ourselves. And as the parents, we need to be the ones setting those examples. And so, that's important as well, I think. And like I said, guys, I'm not, I was 225 over this winter. So, I'm not like the shining example of being physically fit, not for a while. Hey, Freddie left you. Got kicked out of my favorite pizza shop in Syracuse the other night for no mask, even though for the past 14 months, the owner didn't care about masks. I'm going to mention something else, and I'm sorry that happened to you, and that sucks that they did that. I'm going to mention something else because I was told by this individual that I could mention it, and we're going to do the egg count right after I talk about this really quickly, okay? Dear friend of mine, dear friend of mine, having some health issues, and I won't get into what their health issues are, but they had gone to a local hospital, and I won't say what hospital it was either because it doesn't make any difference, but they had gone to a local hospital. Because they refused to put a mask on, they would not take care of that person. Now, I'll tell you what, that should not be any way should be going on at all. Not at all. They should be not forced, but they should be taking care of people, even if they won't wear a mask. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. Hey, she walks alone. Ed, did you receive my package today? Finally lost all my hair, 11 more months of chemo to go. Breast cancer of the liver. Thanks for all that you do. I have not gotten down there. I will go and I'll check the P.O. box tomorrow. So I will, and I'm sorry about that you're fighting cancer. That is no fun. As you guys know, I'm also a cancer survivor. So not a fun time. Not a fun time. And I hope you come through it okay, and I hope everything works out really well. All right. So real quickly, again, we're at 1131 in the chat. We're at 575 on the thumbs up. So I'm going to ask again for another thumbs up if you have not done so already. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. I do appreciate it. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithms. The more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. So also the third reason is I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. It's just, like I said, my game that I like to play. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. All right, so let's do egg count. What do you guys think for the egg count today? So we'll give you a minute here to get your guesses up. And I'll have a sip of green tea while we're waiting. All right, I see several of you have the right answer. If you had the same exact guess as Melissa Dove with 9 eggs, that's where we ended up. 80K Man also had 9 eggs. I saw that as well. 9 eggs is what we ended up with today. We ended up with 8 yesterday, and the day before that it was 11. So not bad. Never going to complain with that. They're nice and steady. And, the new baby chicks, they're getting big. They're doing great. Haven't lost any more. Everybody's good on that end. So that's a cool thing as well. So I have 12 of them, and I'm hoping it's mostly females. We shall see. I know that my Rhode Island Reds, I have 4 Rhode Island Reds. I know that they are all females. The 2 white chickens that I have left, they look like females as well. Okay. And then the other 6, I'm looking at them, and it looks like 3 of them for sure I think are females, and the other 3 I'm not 100% sure yet. So we'll see. But we'll whatever we add to the flock for hens, that'll be a good thing. I'm not going to add any more next year. We'll be good to go. Oh, hold on a second. What do we got here? Ed, today marked my first full dozen from my hens. That's awesome. Candace Cullen just said that. Very cool. That's awesome. You know what, guys? They're so much fun. Chickens are an absolute blast. They're very entertaining just to sit out there and watch them. Mom and Beck will tell me all the time they just sit in the window and watch the chickens, and they watch the dogs and how the dogs play and stuff like that as well. And they're very chill tonight. If my rule of thumb is, if I'm outside, my dogs are outside. My dogs are not going to sit in the house if I'm outside. So I always make sure they have plenty of water, and those type of things. So they're good to go, but they really wear themselves out being outside. So, but they're doing really, really good. I didn't know, no turkeys. Nope, I have no turkeys. Roosters have longer legs. I discovered that raising my baby chicks. Okay. But yeah, so no, the dogs, they have a blast. I mean, they run around and do their thing. If you watch my video today, you heard me with enough. That's my favorite word with the dogs. Patriot James, trying to stop smoking cigarettes. My cardio was shot. Not good for prepping. No, you know what? Good for you, man. Good for you. That's an awesome thing to try to do, to try to, to get that the vice out of the way. Because you're right, that definitely affects your health. Absolutely affects your health. So, all right. So somebody just how-to videos just said, Eder, what are my thoughts on Rudy Giuliani's Fed raid today? All right. So they came in today and raided Giuliani's apartment at 6 o'clock in the morning. They woke him up. I, you know, to me, it's grandstanding. They did it to embarrass him. And, I mean, who knows? There is a lot of political games, always will be a lot of political games. And I just think that, I think in this case, because he was Trump's personal lawyer, they were looking to embarrass him. And that's just my thing on that. Hey, Freddie left you. Shooting in Watertown today. That's New York. Two dead people plus the shooter. I did not see that. I did not see that one. And I'm going to tell you what, if and anybody knows New York, Watertown is way up in the middle of nowhere. You have the military base up there, and it's just I think they're the 10th Mountain Division is up there, Fort Drum, and but yeah, that's I had not heard that. So Watertown itself is not a great big huge town, so that's kind of surprising to hear that. Here's the big question: why is Cuomo still in office? Yeah, that's a really good question, JJ. I've wondered that myself. I mean, he's been dancing around and dodging the bullets. They asked him straight out about, the allegations with all these women, and he's like, nope, 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 not true. Well, of course he's going to say that, obviously. So, 4 years ago, I quit smoking, feel 100 times better. I vape, but it sure helped. You know what? And it does. And I don't, the whole vaping thing. I don't know how good that is for you as well, to be honest with you. Uh, it's anything anytime you're taking like that into your body, anything foreign like that, I don't think it's good for you, and that's just my opinion on that. Hey, Patriot James, he also has Hunter Biden's laptop. Well, and here's the thing with that. Giuliani had gone over, and I want you guys to remember this too, because maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Thank you very much, Patriot James, for the donation as well, and saying that he had gone over to the Ukraine, Giuliani did, trying to stir up that investigation into Hunter Biden. All right. Because if you remember, and this is what kills me too, and it's like people like they remember what they want to remember and don't remember what they don't want to remember. And Biden was vice president at the time, and he had gone over there in the I'm trying to think what his title was. He was investigating the whole corruption thing with Burisma or whatever the oil company there was, right? And Biden basically, and it's on video, so I'm not making this up. It's right on video. Him talking, the prosecutor, whatever the prosecutor's was, he was saying that they had like $1 billion in aid for the Ukraine, sorry, the Ukraine. had $1 billion in aid, and he said that prosecutor gets fired or you're not getting this aid. And so he's sitting there talking about this, sitting in the chair, and they said, well, what happened? He says, well, he was fired within an hour. So, tell me that's not totally, totally illegal. Oh, yeah. And by the way, his son was working there getting $1 million a month with no, I think it was $1 million a month. I may be wrong on that number, but I know he was getting ridiculous amounts of money being on the board and having zero experience in the oil industry. Isn't that interesting? Just so happens that he had to be at that point the vice president's son. But of course, that was all hushed up, and the media doesn't want to talk about that. So yeah, it's just it's like I said, it's a big game, a lot of political grandstanding going on. But what I think you're going to see is things continue to progress here. The numbers will continue to go down in the United States. I think you'll see some semblance back to normal, and they will credit it all. All the credit is going to go to Joe Biden and his great leadership. Yeah, right. Okay. A lot of games, a lot of manipulation. You watch the propaganda, watch it, pay attention to it. That's why I'll tell you what, I honestly, I don't miss not having a television. I just don't. And actually, he's going to be coming on here talking at 9:00. He's doing his 99 days in, and he's going to be talking to Congress, and I'm sure he's going to be pushing. They're talking even about another stimulus still. So, yeah, it's just, yeah, and she's still not going to the border. Isn't that interesting? He puts her in charge of that, and she still hasn't been down there. They don't talk about Trump's nepotism either. Pot calling the kettle black. Well, Karen, I will have to say, the media did nothing but bash Trump for that. Yeah. But, like Obama was their darling, and he could do nothing wrong. Even when he gave guns, or they sold guns across the border to Mexico, and one of those guns was used to kill a federal agent. I think it was a Border Patrol agent here in the United States. That was all right. That was fine. Again, it really depends, who's in there, who they want. Let me just be very, very clear about one thing, guys, okay? And it doesn't matter who is in the office. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat. All these politicians that you think give a crap about you, they don't. They are going to line their pockets. They're going to help their rich friends. They're going to give positions of power to their rich friends. And they don't care about you. They don't, okay? At the end of the day, it's about how much they can squeeze the money out of us, period. That's all they care about. And so if you think this party or that party gives a crap about you, you're sadly mistaken. You really are. And that's my take on it. So again, it's just a dance that goes on every 4 years or every 8 years. We're going to make change, and everything's going to be better. And it never is. At the end of the day, more of our rights are taken away. We're more restricted on what we can do. They're bleeding us every which way that they can possibly bleed us, and they just want to control every aspect of our lives. And I have a problem with that. That's not being free. So, again, you want to be a Democrat, you want to be a Republican, knock yourself out. Go vote every freaking time. It makes no difference. It really doesn't. So, that's my take on it. Anybody that watches this channel knows I will be 56 in a couple of months. I'll be 56 in June. I have never voted, and I never will. Never will. Because even as a kid, I saw the corruption. I saw the BS. It doesn't make a difference. Everybody, okay, and you know what? I didn't hate Trump. I know a lot of people hated Trump. That's fine. I used to get a kick out of him because he was pretty crass. And I just thought that was funny because so many people got so butthurt because of what he used to say. But, Trump's going to come in and all these changes are going to happen. Now, did Trump fulfill a lot of his campaign promises? Yes. One of the few presidents that actually did. or tried to. Okay, and he was fought every step of the way. Every step of the way, they fought him, and we all know that as well. I mean, that's nothing that is, that's not a surprise. Okay, but if you watch the media, Obama was the media's darling. You never heard anything bad about Obama when he was president. Okay, wasn't done. They didn't do anything. Okay, Trump got in there and they did nothing but attack him for the entire 4 years he was in there. The entire 4 years. Okay, and now you got Biden in there. You don't hear anything bad about Biden, right? They don't talk about how the guy can't even finish a sentence, and trips over himself all the time, and all those type of things. You're not going to hear about that because that's not what they want you to see. So, you know, and yeah, there you go. Realizing voting is self-registry. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like I said, I just, it's a corrupt system. The entire system is corrupt, and there's cheating every year on both sides. So let's not just think that I'm just rah 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 Republican. Both sides cheat. When you have dead people voting, when you have you know people that don't live in the state voting in that state, it just. Yeah, hell is around. She's down here at the end of the bed. She is sound asleep tonight, so I'm happy. She's not trying to get out tonight. Like I said, they've been out most of the day, because I was out most of the day, so they're tired. But anyway, like I said again, when people say, "Oh well, we can make a difference and we can make it," you're not. New York State, no matter how many times, if I registered, let's say I registered Republican and voted every year, guess what? New York State's always going to go Democratic. Always. It's never going to change. There's too many people downstate that are in New York City and all those areas, in Albany, in Syracuse, in Buffalo, and in Rochester, New York, that are always going to be Democratic. It's always going to go that way. It's just not going to change. So, it doesn't make any difference. It makes no difference at all. And if you think it does, that's great. Think whatever you want to think. That's fine. I've had people tell me, well, you can't say anything, because you don't vote. Well, sure I can. I can say whatever I want to say. It's a free country the last time I checked. I do the option of not voting because I don't believe in the system, because it's so corrupt. I mean, how hard is that? SDM 86, tyranny has no political party. You are exactly right there. And thank you very much for the donation as well. Patriot James, some people seek office to make a difference. They leave rich and corrupt. Yeah, and that happens all the time. Anybody that rocks the system, they're gone. They're gone. Hey, Freddie left you. When I say voting doesn't work, my rhino friend heads explodes. It's hilarious when the Repub stole the nomination from Ron Paul in 2012, and I said I'm out. Yeah, and again, when you had different people that they want to have in or not have, I'm going to tell you what. Not a fan of Bernie Sanders. I don't want to think you guys should think that I am, because, like I said, again, it doesn't matter who's in. But he should have got the nomination, not Hillary Clinton, when it was against Trump. It should have been Bernie Sanders, and I think Bernie Sanders would have beat him. That's just my opinion, again. But yeah, New York lost seats too, right? Yeah, exactly, because people are leaving in droves. New York State has high taxes, very restrictive, and it's just getting worse and worse. So people are saying, I've had enough, and they're getting out. And when you had, listen, anybody that could afford to do it, if they lived in New York City or around that area down there, if they could afford to do it, they're already gone. They've left because of everything that happened with the virus and the shutdowns and everything else. They're gone. And a lot of them, where do they go? Yeah, Bernie is the most honest about who he is. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But the most of those people, they're probably in Florida now, where there's no restrictions and they can do whatever they want to do, and that's exactly what they're doing. So rumor is, if New York lost a seat, goodbye AOC. She probably won't be the one gone. She's one of their, she is like a media darling, and she loves the attention. Absolutely loves the attention. So I don't think you're going to see her going anywhere. But No, they're, in whatever area they're losing seats because of population in different spots, but I don't think you're going to see her going anywhere soon. She's too popular. People like her, you know. They do, and and that's what happens. Yeah, the stupid youth love AOC. My son, Joshua, I talk with him about her, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he likes her. He's like, oh yeah, I think she's awesome." I'm like, dude, do you pay attention? But that's that mindset of that younger generation. Look, I want you to think about this, and I may have mentioned this before. I'm not sure if I have or not. Why do they not teach cursive in school anymore? And I want you to think about this for a second. I know we may have already discussed this before, but the reason that they don't teach cursive anymore in schools to kids, what is the Constitution? How is it written? It's written in cursive. So if you looked at the Constitution and you don't know how to read cursive because you've never been taught it, you don't know what's in the Constitution. It's a slow simulation where they just getting people dumber and dumber, and then you don't realize your rights are being taken away. If I want you guys to think about something too. So we'll go back to 9/11, which is almost 20 years ago, right? Uh, so 20 years ago, September 11th, it'll be 20 years. And all of a sudden, they came in with the Patriot Act. Remember that? The Patriot Act was written well before 9/11 happened, but they were waiting for that event, for say, or event similar or whatever, but they used that event to come in and take our rights. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I am a flag flying American. I've always flying my American flag. Actually, I got to get a new one up. I do need to do that. I got to get all my flags up, to be honest with you, but that's going to happen soon. But always flew my flag. And when 9/11 happened and they did rah, 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 we're going to war, something just didn't mesh with me. I just wasn't right. Something, I said, we're being played. Okay. Where everybody on my street, where I lived in Charlotte, New York at the time, they all had their flags up. Everybody, all of a sudden, everybody was rah, 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 America, America, we're going to show you. They had all their flags up. I took mine down. Because I knew we were being played. I knew we were being played. And we absolutely were. And, you can believe in 9/11 or not believe in 9/11. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but, it just more and more games. And what is the direct result of 9/11? Let's think about this. Did we destroy the Taliban and all those horrible, awful, evil, villainous Muslims over there? No, they're still there. Okay, they're still there. But what was the direct result of that? Now you have the TSA. So when you go through an airport, you got to take off your freaking shoes. You have to take off, basically you can't even take a little bottle of water, nothing else you got to go through security checkpoints. If you are suspected of anything, they'll put you through the puffer machine and all that type of crap, or now they do the x-ray thing and they do all that type of stuff. Now let me ask you this: because of drunk drivers, did they take everybody's cars away? Did they do that because of drunk drivers? No. So you have one incident happens where supposed terrorists hijacked planes and did what they did, and we change all the rules that have been happening in this country for 50 years. For 50 years, how we did things. Now it's completely different, and now that's the new normal. Now you know that if you're going to go fly you're going to go fly to go see grandma, that you got to go through this nonsense and go through this delay of stuff, and they're going to search through everything that you have, and and all that type of stuff. Okay, I've told this story. I graduated from nursing school in 1994. And so my first wife and I went down to Florida, went down to Daytona, Florida. And we were down there, and I went to a flea market. And I bought a set of samurai swords. And I know I've told this story before, but I'm going to say it again anyway. So I buy this set of samurai swords. Awesome, beautiful. I'm like, I'm not going to have this put underneath because somebody will steal it, because there was a lot of theft going on with, the baggage handlers and all that type of stuff. Still is, okay? So I got on a plane with this box with 3 samurai swords in it, and I had it sitting between my legs on my flight back home to New York. This is 1994. Okay, try to do that now and see how that would go. But you know what the weird part was? I didn't try to take over the plane. I didn't try to kill nobody. I didn't try to stab nobody. I didn't try to drive that plane into a building. Imagine that. Okay, ridiculous. Ridiculous what we have to go through that is now considered the new normal because of what they've done. So think about that. Think about that. And the Patriot Act came in, which gives them permission to spy on you, to, do your rights. Your rights are gone. You gave them up willingly. Whenever you give up your rights in the guise of protection, you give up your freedom in the guise of protection, you deserve neither. So I think that was Thomas Jefferson said that, you know. So it was a scam. The whole thing was a scam. That's my opinion, and that's where I'm at. So that's my end of my rant on that. But just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to ask again, guys. What are we at? 889 in the chat. I guess a bunch of people went to go watch Biden speak. But congratulations. I hope you have a good chat with him. Yeah, I know he's on. Who cares? Yep. So, yeah, how many times will he stumble over his own words this time, I wonder. So, anyway, we're at 701 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And I appreciate you doing that ahead of time, so thank you for doing that. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So thank you for that reason as well. And third reason, of course, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So just wanted to put that out there too, being honest. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So the other thing I wanted to really quickly, I'm going to do a couple quick shout outs, and then we'll go into We Are Legion and we'll do that. Okay. Channels, there's so many good channels out there, guys. I really encourage you to go out, watch other channels, get their perspective, see what they have to say. So Angry Prepper down in New York City. If you have kids, guide them over to the Happy Prepper. Nice young man. He's like 14 now, I believe. And he does a prepping channel. And I think that's, that's a good thing. And more kids should be, be watching stuff like that because it's good information. And it's in that same, somebody their own age. You have the Magic Prepper out in North Dakota. You have Southern Prepper 1 down in South Carolina, I believe. We have Wrangle Star. He's out west as well. You also have Sean James with My Self-Reliance up in Canada. My buddy Ickycan, Ickycan, also up in Canada. Show him some support as well. Again, Bizzarizajizza as well, even though he hasn't posted in a little while. I'm sure he'll get back on it as soon as things settle down for him. So definitely show him some support as well. Make sure, Doug and Stacy's another channel, obviously. Marfugal News is another one. Pinball is another one. Green Greg's is another one. So there's a lot of good channels out there that we should be supporting and helping each other. You have Alaskan Prepper is another one that comes to mind really quickly. So, but and I can't do YouTube. I will be kicked off immediately. Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with YouTube. I know it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, George Carlin. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, absolutely. And George Carlin was an absolute visionary, and he's 100% right. He said it's a big club, and you ain't in it. So, but yeah, but there's, like I said, guys, there's a lot of good channels out there. There's a lot of good information. I think we should all be looking to, support each other. And so I encourage you to do that. Go check those channels out and, tell them Prepper Nurse 1 sent you. Ed, can you start selling t-shirts, PN1 and STD on the pack? I'm going to get that squared away too. So again, let me address that really quickly. Okay. When my niece comes out here, she's going to take over, like, answering emails, doing the t-shirt stuff, getting all that set up and doing all those type of stuff. I want to be out and I want to be doing what I need to do. And so that's kind of what I focus on. Like the last 3 days, guys, I'm not answering emails. I haven't been. I've been out working. I've been getting things done around the homestead, and that's what I've been focusing on. And so when I get done at the end of the day, I'm shot. I've been really, really shot. Yeah, she'll be. Yeah, my marketing assistant. Yeah, she. We've talked about that, and she can basically she can like look at an email. Let's say I'm outside and I'm doing something. She come out there and be like, Uncle Eddie. She'll say, we got this email from blah blah blah. Well, how do you want me to reply? I'll tell her how I want to reply. She'll come in and she'll send the email. So that's going to save me a ton, a ton. So, and I'm awesome, or I'm awful at answering emails. I will be the first to admit that. I really, really am. I really am, and I apologize. Yeah, Ice Age Farmer is another one too. Yep, yep, very good. Trying to think who else. There was another guy. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of his channel name. They've gone after him big time, so I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But he's got a really really good channel as well. Diamond, you know who Diamond? What's the name of his channel? Somebody's gonna know who I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Oppenheimer Ranch Project. There we go. It came to me. But there's another good channel. Really good information. I like his channel as well. Really, really nice guy. Really nice guy. So, yep. And that's Diamond. Yep. The Oppenheimer Ranch Project. So, but anyway, like I said, there's a lot of great channels out there. Look at different information, share it, and, so we should support each other. We really should. So I think that's important. So anyway, let's do this now. We are Legion because we are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the United States, the world, everywhere. We're a big family, a huge family, and the good Legion, not the bad biblical Legion. Okay, so let's put that out there right away. Where is everybody at tonight? We have Missouri is the first one that came up. We have the Adirondacks. Give you guys a minute here. Lake Roanoke, Long Island. I don't know if I said that right. Canandaigua, New York. Mason-Dixon Line, Pennsylvania. Beech Grove, Indiana. Jersey Shore. Nashville, Tennessee. BC, Canada. Apollo, Pennsylvania. Missouri. Mason-Dixon Line, Pennsylvania. Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Endicott, New York. Cave Creek, Arizona. Southwest Ontario, Canada. Raleigh, North Carolina. Memphis, Tennessee. Upstate New York, Maryland. Let's see. We have Missouri off of KC, Albany, Union City, Pennsylvania, Indiana. We have Nebraska, Essex Junction, Vermont, Georgia in the mountains, Rochester, New York, Sarasota, New York. We have Maine, Nowhere, Oklahoma, still my favorite name. Ontario, Canada, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Victoria, Texas, Backwoods, Michigan, Guilford, New York, UP of Michigan, very nice. Troy, North Carolina, Howe, Texas, Ashwood, Virginia, Wisconsin, Kansas, Arizona, Mexican border. We have Michigan, Colorado, Northeast Colorado, North Wellington, Ontario. We have Rochester, Minnesota, Central Texas, Sirgan, Texas. I probably said that wrong, and I apologize. Southern Kentucky, New Jersey, South Australia, very nice. Missouri City, Missouri, Chesterfield, Virginia. We have Philly, which is in Pennsylvania. Hamilton, Ohio. Let's see. Near Mickey Mouse in Florida, very nice. Near Orlando, then. Rhode Island. We have Philadelphia again. Western New York. Southwest Arkansas. We have a lot of Philadelphia tonight. Fraught, Texas. JJ's asking if we have Vancouver, Canada, Southern Maryland. He's asking if I'm still doing the documentary about prepping. I have not heard back from them. I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if they decided to go in a different direction or not, which is fine. One of the things that they were really pushing for, I'm going to address that just so you guys know. They were like, well, we want to know about this, and this, and this. And one of the things that they were really pushing for was what guns I had. And I told them, I said, on my channel, I have never shown a gun on my channel. I never will show a gun on my channel. I will not show a gun on any kind of show. So that I put out there right away. So maybe they didn't like that because they want to, make all preppers look like we're lunatic gun nuts. And that was not what I've tried to do with my channel. Uh, am I able to defend myself? Yes. Will I defend myself when the time comes? Yes. But I don't need to show you what I have ahead of time to prove how tough I am or to think I'm a big tough guy. I'm not doing it because it's like, that's information that people don't need. They don't need to know. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I haven't heard from them, and that's okay. So if they get a hold of me, then fine. But yeah, COVID scared them all. Yeah, well, that was part of it too. They were like, with everything that was going on, they just that was kind of it. So I'm like, hey, whatever. It's not like I needed the show. I didn't. I thought it would be good exposure, but it's because again, when somebody said, well, they'll give you bad publicity. Well, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So I was on some show. There was a blip of me on some show, and I was right before Alex Jones. So they put me in that same category. And they were, it was a negative aspect. And they were saying, about false information and all that type of stuff. So I'm like, whatever. When people told me about it, I was like, cool. So again, it was just like a blurb. They just put me in there for just a little blurb, and it was funny. So again, that's how they take things out of context. How are the kids? The kids are doing good, Stephen Barry. Thank you very much for asking. They're both doing fine. And Josh, my stepson, is doing well as well. And yeah, so they're doing really, really good. So no issues with them. Busy living their lives, man. It's that's the weird thing. I'll tell you what. When you have your whole life, and anybody on here that's watching, if your kids are grown and gone, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When your kids are your whole life, and all of a sudden they reach that age and they want to go spread their wings and do their thing, you have to. Number one, you have to let them do it because that's how they learn. But man, it's hard. It is hard. And I miss them. I miss them being around all the time. So that's being honest. So, but anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna sign off of here, but we're at 766. Let's see if we can hit 800 before I sign off. Okay. So again, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, let's see if we can hit 800 on the thumbs up. So I would ask you to do that to show support, and I appreciate that. I want to thank my moderators who always are very steady here all the time, keeping the chat clean. You guys are the best, and I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. So thank you all for being here and for the support that you show after show. Ladies and gentlemen, it means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you all for being here. Being part. Yeah, it's called empty nest syndrome. I know. But yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was going to be. But it's okay. I'm okay now. It's been a while, but in the beginning, it was very, very tough. Very tough. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Great questions tonight. Love the feedback back and forth. It's awesome. I try to get to people's questions, so like some people will say, oh, well, he only answers if you do a super chat, which is not true, but that's okay. People are going to have their judgments and they can say whatever they want to say. It doesn't make any difference at the end of the day. But anyway, remember, guys, we are really, truly all in this together. We are one race called the human race. And as soon as we can focus on that and stop letting them manipulate us and play us and have us fighting each other, we're going to be in much, much better shape. We really will. And they want us to fight. They want total and complete control. And we're going to hand it to them. I that's what I see. We're going to hand it to them because people are just, it's about to explode, in my opinion. I think it's going to explode at some point. I don't know when, but when it does, then they'll lock us down, and that'll be the end of the ball game. So, but also, guys, remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we love every single day how we feel. Also, remember, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, doesn't have to be about prepping, It doesn't have to be about living off grid. It can be whatever you're striving for in your life, be it school, be it college, be it trade school. Work methodically. It'll get done. You'll reach your goals. If you set goals, and then go about to make them happen. It is amazing how fast that'll happen. And that time's going to go anyway. So you can either sit around feeling sorry for yourself, or you can do something about it. And I think that's really, really important. So we're at what, 793. We need 7 more thumbs up, guys. We got 7 more thumbs up in us. We're down to 550 in the chat. So let's see if we can hit that number. Just for fun, let's see. Let's try to hit 800. I want to encourage you all to continue to prep, continue to get ready. Again, we don't know how much time we have, so it's really important we continue to do that. You know, one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing with these garden beds, preparation, being ready. That's what it's all about. So we did it. We're at 8:03. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm actually really looking forward to the rain. Really am. Oh my God. I just want a day. Well, I mean, I got other things that I can do, but it's not going to be physical labor day. So that's, but remember, stay strong. Whoa. So anyway, guys, I'll see you all later. Have a good night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.